Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. So for this project we're going to use lots of Anna Griffin goodies and we're going to make a gorgeous special day card. I'll run through everything that I do use as I'm using it, and if not I'll put down below a list of the item titles that you can use. So I'm going to start off with my favourite card size, 7 by 5 inches, and I'm going to just use my bone folder just to make sure I've got a good sharp score along the edge. This is the 7 by 5 inch and this is how it looks on our cardometer. So it's just a little bit bigger than the A6 and smaller than the A5. So the first thing, as always, we're going to do is we're going to do the inside of the card. We're going to make a nice insert. Now this could not be simpler, this insert. I've simply cut out a piece of ivory card that matches the actual card base, and I've stamped it using Anna Griffin's Luminous Gold, and I've used one of the stamps from the Calligraphy stamp set, and then I've used one of the stamps from the 22 clear birthday stamps, and then I've simply inked around the edge as well. I've got flat double-sided tape on the back of this, and I'm simply going to peel off the tape and we're going to pop in the centre of our card. So we'll just place that in like that, and that is our inside finished. It's simple, it's elegant, and it just looks so nice, and will go ideally with the outside. So now I've put the inside in, I'm just going to score that again, and the first layer I've got for the outside of the card is an embossed layer, and I've used the Thistle Bouquet embossing folder from Anna, and I've got double-sided tape on the back of it. So I'm just going to peel the back of the tape away. Sorry, that's me banging the camera. And then I've actually made some corners for this as well. So I don't know if any of you remember how we saw the embossed corners last year. Well, I've made some nice plain corners for this. And we simply slot those onto the card, and then we can add that to our card front. So I've got tape on the back of the corners, so I'm just going to remove that, and then we can add it. There we go. So I'm going to position that on the front of my card like so, trying to keep it kind of straight. So that's our first layer. Next I've used the Anna Griffin Fretwork die, and I've cut out one die cut in a gold cardstock, and then I've cut out and embossed a second one in the same ivory cardstock, and I've simply added a few of the liquid pearls on the second one. So as I say, I'll just repeat that. The first layer wasn't embossed, but the second layer was, because that picks up all the detail from the embossing. Then what we're going to do is turn the ivory layer upside down, and I'm simply going to add a little bit of glue on the back of it, not too much, and then I'm going to attach the gold layer to it, but we're going to create a shadow effect. So you will just be able to see a little bit of the gold die cut, just a little bit like that. so that there's just a very edge, there we go, to create the shadowed effect. And I'm just going to squash it down just so the glue can adhere to each layer. So now you've got a shadowed effect, and it's just something a little bit different. There, just straighten that up. There we go. And that's taking hold nicely now. I've got 3D foam on the back of the gold layer, so I'm just going to pop the backs off of this, and then we can add this to the front of our card like so. Just a couple of seconds to take the backs away. There we go. This isn't a very deep 3D foam, it's just enough to be able to see the actual pattern standing up against the background. So that's our fretwork dies. Next, I've taken one of the Vellum quotes from the Well Said collection, and I've added it onto Ivory card again, and then 3D foam again, and this is going to go in the centre of our fretwork to be our statement focal point, sorry, our sentiment focal point, like that. And then I've got a gorgeous ivory bow that I've tied, and I just want to show you a little trick. I've tucked one of the tails in by adding a little piece of flat tape on the back of the actual bow, and all you simply do is add the tape and then fold the tail in and up, and then add it, attach it to the actual tape, so you're kind of hiding it away, so that that just gives you a tailless bow, as it were. There we go. And then I've got 3D foam on the back of my bow, and a little bit of tape as well because it's quite bulky. It was a 22mm satin ribbon, double-sided in ivory, for anybody who likes the ribbons. And now we can add that to wherever we want on the card. I'm going to go central at the top, and I'm going to snip that little bit of a tail away because I think it might just hinder our design. There we go. Sorry, but it's not tucked in properly there. Oh, I'm making a pig's ear out of that one, as they say. What's there? I don't know. Right, so we'll just add that to our card at the top, and then we've got such an elegant, gorgeous birthday card that hasn't taken a lot of effort or a lot of materials. You've got the shadowing from the gold on the fretwork die, you've got the gold from the actual sentiment, and the ivory from the actual card, and you can see how the stamp from the calligraphy set matches so well to the actual fretwork. Such a pretty card with minimum ease, maximum ease, minimum ease, maximum ease, yeah, maximum ease. because there was no effort into it, but it just looks as though there is. You could adapt that for any different occasion, and you could use different colourways. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give me the thumbs up if you have. You can always find me on Facebook. If you've got any questions or queries, please don't hesitate. I love hearing from you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.